under control, baby, count on me. Don't you worry about a thing, lady, count on me. You ain't gotta worry about a thing, baby, count on me. I'm on point like it's physical, so count on me. I got it all under control, baby, count on me. Don't you worry about a thing, lady, count on me. Baby, I don't do this for the following. They follow me, but I ain't tripping, they more dollar trees. I like my time spent modestly with quality.
What's going on, y'all? It is another Tuesday. Welcome to the Joel Friday TV podcast. This is Joel Friday. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Amazing. I'm excited to be here. You know what's so cool is that every week I come, I'm excited to be here. And it's fun for me. And it makes my week. And I just like it. I like it a lot. So I thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for allowing me to have somebody to talk to. I appreciate the love you guys are always showing me on the videos, the comments, all that stuff. Amazing. And I thank Hassan. I thank Nick. I thank James. I thank Sean. I thank Daniel. Everybody just always be showing me love every time I come in to the studio or just offering their help. Amazing. Very much appreciated. But bienvenido. Spanish for welcome. Welcome to the show. Really quick, I want to talk about the topics that I'm going to be covering, hopefully. Hopefully I can get to all the topics. First topic, we're going to talk about Chris Rock's stand-up called Selective Outrage. I don't know if you guys watched it. It's on Netflix. He streamed it live on Saturday at 7 p.m., and I caught it. And I'm so glad that I caught it because it was such a good stand-up. He talked about, especially coming from a guy at his status, but also from a guy in the entertainment industry, he talked about a lot of truthful stuff. He called out a lot of stuff. He reminded me of like how Dave Chappelle did a stand-up, and he was just talking, making jokes about whatever he wanted and not worrying about the cancel thing, right? Chris Rock did the same thing. He covered a lot of stuff, so I'm going to get into that, some of the things he covered. I'm also going to cover why women get naked and why we see a lot of women naked in society today. I want to cover that. Also, if there's time left, I'm going to cover my color, my pride, okay? I don't know if you could tell what that means just based off of that, my color, my pride, but basically how people love identifying with other people that are their color. Whether it be Jesus, Santa, blah, 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 right? People love things of their color. And I'm going to get into that and how I see that. So we'll see what happens, see if we get to all the topics. But first, before we get into those topics, hit that like button. Hit the like and subscribe button. Smack it. Lay the smack down on the like and subscribe button and the share button. Tell your peoples to subscribe so we can get the subscribers up and a message out. Ooh, that boy. I'm coining that. Also, lastly, you can call in at 888-775-3773 and we could talk and we could chat maybe about the topics. Maybe you want to ask some other questions, whatever. We can chat. You can call in 888-775-3773, and we can get to it. We can argue, too. I like to argue. I don't mind. Or we could fellowship. I like the fellowship even better. But either way, I accept both, and I appreciate both. So don't worry about me. Don't worry about little old Joel. Call in and say what you got to say. Get it off your chest, okay? So amazing. I already got some calls coming in. I appreciate you guys. Bear with me for a second while I start covering these topics, and then we'll get to some calls. Amazing. So first, I wanted to talk a little bit. I love this orange background. Every time I look at it, it's just cool to me. Maybe it just looks cool to me only. Everybody else is kind of like, why did you use serial/cartoon looking background? But it just looks cool to me. But anyway, Selective Outrage by Chris Rock. Okay. I watched this on Saturday. I watched it live, and like I said, I'm so glad that I did because it helped shape my show today. And he covered a lot of things that I think are good to talk about and are important key notes to remember. And, he planted some seeds in there that were good for people to really think about. And like I said, a person of his stature, it's good hearing from people who are like staples in the entertainment industry. And Chris Rock obviously being one of them. And, he said some good things. He also said some things I didn't agree with that I'm going to get into that I kind of was like, But overall, I appreciated what he had to say. Now, obviously, as you guys know, Chris Rock was part of the most recent controversy of getting smacked by Will Smith at the Oscars. And he brings that up. He talks about it. And I'm gonna talk about a few of those things too. But a few topics that he got into that I want to just breeze through, and then I'm gonna get into the meat of the show today. But a few topics was one of the things he talked about was he's basically calling out the truth and the hypocrisy of the world, which is great, right? Everybody's so afraid to say certain things because they don't want to get canceled. And there's a side of me that understands why they don't want to get canceled or whatever, that fear. It's all rooted in fear. So I understand why they don't want to get canceled, because they just believe into the lies of fear, right? And I get that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, if you can't fully just, express how you feel with the idea of maybe you might lose everything, then, the world's going to control you at some point. Now, it is important to be wise. I don't think you should say everything for the sake of saying stuff so you can get canceled on purpose. I think it's important to be wise. But there shouldn't be a fear of you, being able to speak up because you don't want to lose something. So he definitely spoke up. And, he talks about the hypocrisy in the world. And one of the things he talked about that I liked was how when women don't work, how he notices in the world that when women don't work, he sees how it's fine, that's no big deal. But he says that when men don't work, everything falls apart. It just don't seem right? And he did it in a funny way, which was good. But he pointed out, he recognized that when men don't work, it's a problem. He said something like, when you see a 40-year-old man driving a bicycle that would be owned by a high school kid, and you see them riding the bikes, and they're 40 and they're riding a bike, you know what I mean? He's like, that don't look good, you know what I mean? So he brought that up, and I thought that was cool. He also talked about Meghan Markle and about their whole controversy, and he said that that he's like, Meghan Markle wasn't a victim of racism. And he goes, I understand what she was saying, but I don't think she was a victim. Because he was saying that Meghan was saying that when she got into the whole royal family, she was like, I didn't know they were racist. And Chris Rock was like, what do you mean you didn't know, they were racist? And what things were they doing that was so racist, right? And he goes, he's like, the way they were worried about how brown the baby would come out. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys heard of that hysteria, but she was really tripping about how they questioned. I think she went on Oprah and she was like, yeah, they asked me if how brown is the baby gonna come out, and that was so offensive. And she took it offensive, and Oprah was like, oh my God, they asked that? And Chris Rock kept it real. He was like, everybody wanted to know what color, even black people wanted to know what color the baby was gonna be, right? Everybody wants to know, is the baby gonna look black or is the baby gonna look white? It's not that deep. We just want to know, right? But then Chris goes, well, Meghan Markle was so worried about not being accepted. She just wanted to be accepted by the royal family. And a black girl being accepted by her white in-laws. That's what he said. And he goes, but she thought that was bad. Ain't nothing worse than black in-laws trying to accept a white girl. And I was like, why ain't nobody ever talk about that? Which is way worse. White people tend to be more accepting. They may make little insulting jokes about your color or offensive jokes, right? But black people are really gonna call you out, and they're gonna be out front and mean about it. Not all, right? But they're gonna be mean. If they see a white girl in the house or a white guy, a girl brings a white guy home, he's getting clowned by the whole family, including the parents. You know what I mean? But that never gets talked about. right? So Chris brought up that, and I thought that was cool. He also talked about pro-choice and pro-life, and I thought that was cool. Even though he's pro-choice, he made such like a key point though that I respected. He goes, I'm pro-choice. I'm for women, doing what they got to do. He's like, no, I'll say it in better words. He said, I'm pro-choice. I'm for women having the right to kill babies. He said it just like that, right? And then the crowd like laughs, but they kind of like laugh low because they don't really want to like pick a side. He's like, I'm pro-choice. I'm pro a woman having a right to kill a baby. And then, he said it twice, and the second time it was quiet. And then he's like, but let's just be real. It is killing a baby. I love the heck out of that part. Because I don't care if he's pro-choice or pro-life or what you are, right? But it's like, let's just be honest about it. And he did that in a way to where he said he was pro-choice, but at the same time, he kept it real and was like, it's killing babies. So if you're going to be pro-choice, but just own up to you're killing a baby. So I like that. But there was a section where he starts talking about women and like really getting into women. And that's when I felt like he got soft. And I feel like that's where we, all human beings get soft is the topic of women and sex. Now, some more than others. And I say we, and I'm going to use we a lot because to some extent on like the scale, there's still things that we do that may not be as outrageous as the people who are not awake and they can't really see or they're in the light. But on a small scale, I can still relate as a human being to certain situations, right? Like, I'm going to get into specific details soon and specific topics. But in some kind of way, we can relate. So when we just say, like, you, they, it's separating a little bit. And I'm probably still going to do it, but just by habit. But I recognize, over the years that in some kind of way, even if it's in a small thing, even if the other person, they do like a major thing, like shooting up a school, let's just say, right? And they're listening to their thoughts. I got to use a new example. I can't keep using the school shooter thing. But like doing something major, right? But me like doing something that, I may not think or somebody else may not think is major, but it all came from the same place, right? The thoughts tricking us to believe something that's not true, right? So I say we because we can still relate to it. It may not be as extreme, but on a small scale, we can still relate. So that's why I say we. But he got a little soft when he talked about the women and stuff like that. And some of the things he talked about was spoiling his daughters. And this one, I don't even know if I should say, but it's so like a topic right now, and I'm so shocked that it's a topic. But he talking about I can't even say it. I can't even say it. But it's like a nasty thing you do in the bedroom that is a new thing that you do that you didn't normally do. But now you do it. So it's just like a real nasty thing that you do. And I can't even say it. I even wrote it down because I was going to say it, but I just can't. Sorry. Maybe that's too holy. I don't know, but it just won't come out my mouth right now. But it's just a nasty thing that you do in the bedroom that this culturally, this is a new thing. I'll tell you a hint. Janae Aiko says it in the song. She says, "Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, like groceries." If you know the lyrics, then you know what I'm talking about, right? He talks about that. And that's so normalized right now. And I just thought that was just like, crazy that he's that old. Not that old. He's not that old, but he's like 40 or 50. And he's talking about that. Him doing that himself, like him being involved in this stuff at that age, it was interesting. But like I said, on a smaller scale, to somebody else, what we think that, we think that we're holy sometimes. On a smaller scale, some things that we may do in a bedroom or whatever the case is may not be that holy to or that prude to somebody else. So, but I don't know. That whole thing was just kind of like off-putting to me. I'm like, man, do you know what comes out of that? But anyway. And then he's talked about how women have all the power, more power than men. And I was like, ooh, right? And I'm going to get into that. But lastly, last two things is that he went in on Will Smith about the slap. Will and Jada, excuse me. He went in. And you can put me back on the big screen. He went in on Will and Jada. He said, Nick said, female infatuation will make you do some crazy stuff. That's true. And I'm going to get into that too. But Chris Rock went in on Will and Jada about the slap and how that whole thing went down. Like, he went into detail. And you could tell he's still, like, bothered by it. So he went in, boy. He went in on it. But one thing I respected that Chris Rock said about the situation with Will Smith, he said, even though I got smacked, he said, I was not a victim. I'm not a victim about it. You don't hear me going on Oprah crying about, oh, this is not fair. No. He said, I was not a victim, and I'm not a victim. It is what it is. I respected that so much because you just handle it like, what are you going to do? You're going to go on TV and say that he should never have done that. He should be like, no, you just deal with it. You deal with it, and then you move on. So I respected that. He has like some old school in him. And I think he always kind of has. I never really watched a lot of his stuff, but he just has that, some foundation in there that I respected. So that was that. But one thing that he talked about, which shaped my whole show today, that I wanted to bring up, is the biggest addiction in the world today. The world says that it's weed, alcohol, opioid, blah, 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 right? And he said, nope, that's not the biggest addiction. He said the biggest addiction today is attention. Okay? I thought that was so deep. And he goes, there's 4 easy ways, and this is what Chris Rock said. He said there's 4 easy ways to get attention. He said, for one, is from Infamy. And I'm black and slow, so I didn't know what Infamy meant, but he explained it. He was like, people who do like crazy stuff. So like shooting up a school, like terrorist, like holding people for ransom and, stuff like that just to get attention, right? He said infamy is a one. He said being excellent. So actually being good at a talent, actually being good at something and putting the work in is how you also get attention, right? Which is oftentimes not the route people go, but that's a good way to do it. Just be great at what you do. You get the attention. But then he goes, being a victim, begging and complaining is also a way to get attention. And then he goes, showing off your butt. But obviously he said, he was up there cussing. And I thought that was so deep because today we see in society the naked, the showing off everything, right? And then I started thinking about that, and I've been thinking about this for a while, but when I watched him talk about it, it really just kind of like brought things into perspective for me. And because we see in society today, you see it everywhere, all ages, older girls, over 18, over 21, over 30, over 40, revealing clothes, showing off all the goods, showing everything. And younger girls under 18, as young as like 7, 8, 9, really showing everything because that's what they see. Like, it's so out there and dramatized, showing skin. It's like a trend. It's like a fashion statement almost now. Like, it's a fashion statement to show everything. Girls got the tights that you can see the vajay, the crease of it with the tights. You can see the shape all in it. Oh, that's out there. They got the shirt where they ain't got no bra no more, so you can see the nipples popping. That's out there. And that's at the mall. It ain't like at a party only. No, it's at the mall, right? And it's just so evident and out there. And the first thought that we do as human beings, which is what I wanted to get to, is that especially when you're like trying to overcome that. Now, mind you, everybody looks at it and they see it's attractive. Don't front. Don't front and be like, ew. Don't front, because that's a lie. You lying and you in denial if you think that that's not the case. It's attractive, right? That's obviously why it works and they continue to do it, because they get the eyes. It looks good. It's appealing, right? Because that nature in us, the negative nature, the human nature, gravitates to that because you feel something, right? You feel some type of satisfaction. So it's attractive for sure. But obviously, when it's so like exacerbated and dramatized, your first thing to do is to judge it like, wow, like you're out here like that? You know what I mean? Like, how you're over here, you don't want to get, I don't want to get into that, but you're over here, unashamed about being almost naked, practically naked. What's wrong with you? Where's your shame? Where's your pride? We judge it, right? But what we don't do, we don't understand it. And I've been trying to understand it for a long time. And I don't sit up here every day just sitting in my room trying to figure out what the problem is. But just over time, I just kind of been thinking like, dang, what's going on? What's causing this? And I started to think. And after watching this show, the stand-up, it really started to help me put things in perspective. So it's not attention. This is what I come up with. This is my opinion, guys. You guys can call in and give your opinion, or you can disagree. I don't care. But this is just my opinion, is that it's not attention that they want. Because you hear other people talking about, oh, they just want attention. What's wrong with them? They just want attention. That's all it is. Like, they're just being sluts. They're nasty girls. They're slutty. They're being a hoe. Like, ew, stay away from them. They're bad. They're trouble, right? That's the conversation we hear, to be honest. And we're all thinking that. Not all, maybe not all, right? But that's the thought that comes. But it's not attention that they want, right? And guys do this too. Guys also go to the gym and work out, overly buff, strong, just built over to the top for no reason, right? And showing the little tank where, but guys do it too, right? And it's not attention that we do those things. It is attention, but what's deeper is that it's the power that we feel from the control we have over hypnotizing that person from the influence we gave out, right? We're hypnotizing them. And it's not the attention that we like, it's the power we feel from it. It feels so good to know, like, yeah, I did this. I look like this. You like me. You're chasing after me. You're in my DMs. And I can control you how I want, right? It's that power of influence. And we love to take pride in that. And women especially love taking pride in that influence that they have over men, over other women, of being beautiful and all that stuff. And so it's not the attention that they just want. They want the power, that confidence it gives them, that ego boost it gives them when they know you're looking at them and they know that they got you, right? And I thought about it further. And I'm like, okay, well, so influence. Influence is what women really love to use, right? And men use it too. And I'm like, okay, well, let's think about influence. Influence is not bad. Influence is actually a godly thing. Influence is a godly thing, okay? And I'm going to explain it. Is that women, it's good as a woman to influence a man with their beauty, right? And back then, back in the original days, their beauty was them being feminine, them doing, staying in their lane, them not competing with men, them respecting men. What that did, them following God, them listening to, learning from their fathers, their husbands. And when they did that, the light was in them and it developed a confidence in them. And that confidence in them allowed them to move a certain way. So it influenced you to, want to approach them, talk to them, make them as your wife or whatever the case is. So influence is a great thing. You should influence. You should have influence because with confidence comes influence. You know what I mean? So influence is a great thing to have, right? And when it comes to men should have influence too. Men should be great when it comes to influence, right? Because when it comes to influence, women love a man who's strong, but not like just this, right? But like strength, confidence within. And that confidence within is what attracts the woman to you. That's what attracts the woman to you. And that's what makes her use her influence to get you to go talk to her. But trust me, that influence that the man has is what brings the woman into his world. Right? Not into her world, because that's the thing I didn't like about what Chris Ross was saying is that he was making it seem as like they got all the power that they possess. So we go into their world because we love them, their beauty and all that stuff. Yes, they have beauty, but we don't go into their world like that. They come into our world because in our world, we're able to influence, but with the light and blah, 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 which I'm going to get into more. But influence is a great thing. But where did we go wrong in society down the road, right? If influence is such a great thing, why is it a problem now? Because we exploited the influence, right? We made it about, now it's sexual influence. We have girls. Now, this is so true, what I'm about to say. And it's evident. It ain't no secret no more. It ain't no secret. On Instagram, you see guys and girls, but obviously girls have more influence in this area where you see them dancing half naked, for sure, twerking, booty shorts, thongs on Instagram. This is like on a public platform. Half naked, dancing, doing videos. On TikTok, worse. You see it bad. And you'll see them like in a bathing suit. And it's all ages. Y'all think this adults? No, this is kids too. All ages, dancing in a bathing suit, showing off everything pretty much. If they got clothes on, you see the indents. You're seeing it. But they're dancing sexually on purpose. Before they used to kind of hide it, pretend like they're not dancing sexually. No, they're turning to the camera from the back, and they're letting you know, I'm twerking, almost naked, right? They're not ashamed of it anymore. Why? Because it's not shameful anymore, right? But TikTok, what else do we got? Y'all know, OnlyFans. Now you get rich off of OnlyFans. That's a thing, and that's like a new thing that's like unashamed, right? Because before you could have like sites where you do like webcams and stuff like that, but everybody kind of knew like, oh, okay, well, like, that's like, everybody knew what that was for. It was like in the category of like, okay, porn, stuff like that, right? But OnlyFans is becoming like an app. You know what I mean? Like your OnlyFans, like right on, kudos. That's how they're starting to treat OnlyFans, right? And then you got Tinder. Now people are gonna get on me for saying Tinder, but now obviously Tinder, you're supposed to meet people, you're supposed to date online, and there may be like there's exceptions to the rule of like you meeting somebody nice, but at the end of the day, the people on Tinder, the stories I hear, they want one thing. They want it now. And a lot of people don't want to go out in public. Now, there's exceptions to the rule, okay? I'm not going to sit up here and, like, bash all of dating apps, right? I just don't agree with it because I feel like there's, like, a desire to want another human. now instead of like, waiting or going out in public or, doing it that way. And that's fine. No shade. Do what you do. Do what you do. But oftentimes the stories that I hear are quick hookups. Quick, like, I need somebody that, look good, and then we swipe up. However it works, you swipe up, and then now we match, and then we go on a date. And you know what's happening. Let's not lie, right? If you're going to do the dating app thing and you say you want to be genuine, that's fine, do the dating app thing. But let's just also be honest that, like, you also can get some quick stuff off of that, right? So Tinder. And then you got flat out porn. We already know that. So all of these things are out there, and the influence of these things are the reason why influence is exploited, right? Because now it's so public, right? So when I thought about that, I was like, okay, so they exploited it with sex, and, they're all over the place with it. They're all over these sites, all over social media. Then I asked the question, why? And I said, why? And God is good, man, because God is really bringing these insights to me, help me realize, if you seek, you'll find, for one. It says it in the Bible. If you ask, you shall receive, right? And when you truly seek, God give you the answer. If you're truly seeking, you're doing it for the right reason, God give you the answer. So I'm not saying I'm going to be right on every single thing, every single topic, but I'm grateful because he's really giving me these insights that I believe are insights, and I'm able to make sense of this. So anyway, porn, Tinder, TikTok, OnlyFans, all that stuff, exploited. And then I said, why? Why is it exploited? And then it came to me, boom! Because the women do it, only because that's what men are into. That's the only reason why women do it. That's the only reason why women do it. That's the only reason why women do it. Because men are into it. Men are into it. Women aren't really into sex. I'm telling y'all. Women will have sex, and women are taught to have sex. But women aren't really into sex like that. They only are into sex like that because it's the easiest way to get a man and to keep a man is through sex. So they use it and they exploit it. They use their influence to, in an exploitive way with sex, to draw the man in, because that's what the man is into. If the man was not into the sex thing, they would use their influence in a different way. They're going to use their influence in the way they can get the man, because that's the way it's set up. It's set up that way, purposely, by God. Women are supposed to have influence. But it's exploited nowadays. Why? Because men want sex. Same reason why I felt like Chris Rock got soft on the women, because low-key it's hard for men. It's hard, and it's hard for everybody, right? But it's low-key hard when we're taught that sex is good. We're taught to have sex whenever you want. We're taught to have sex in a relationship. We're taught that sex is love. We're taught all this stuff. It's hard for men. So I talk about Chris Rock getting soft, but I'm soft in ways too when it comes to that. Except I'm aware, I'm a little more aware. I don't know about more aware than he is, but I'm aware in a sense to where I'm overcoming it, day by day, because, and that awareness is helping me, allowing it to fall off more and more, but also not allowing me to get lost in it, right? But in some areas, do I still feel that? Do I still go through that stuff? Absolutely. But anyway, back to the point is that if men weren't into it, women wouldn't do it. And that's what we have to take responsibility as men and really be like, we'll judge the woman for having this high body count, but we did it because they wouldn't do it if we weren't into it. So women are going to influence you sexually, and they're going to be like, gotcha, because they know. But here's the thing. Women aren't innocent either. I'm not saying women are victims or innocent, because they know, women know that this is the weakness of men. They know that The sex thing and them like clinging on to women, us clinging on to women like that, is a weakness thing. And they know that the man is being weak, and they know that they're controlling the man, right? And if they know that, the question I'm sure people ask, well, then why do they still do it? If they know that that's the man's weakness, why do they still do it? Why not be a strong woman? Why not have that confidence and like tell a man no? Why not make the man stop playing the games so he can get his life together, so he can be the man for you? Why do they not do that? And some women do, right? Of course, right? But why most women don't, I'm going to tell you, and it's just my opinion, is that women lack security. They lack security. I got calls, you guys. Thank you guys for calling. I'm going to get to the calls right now. I just got to make these last points. Women lack security, right? And because they lack security, they lack confidence. They're not secure with themselves. Well, why? And it's because of all the conflict, the confusion, the emotions, the heartache that they have within. They need to escape. They want to get away. We're all looking for peace, right? True peace and love, right? We're all looking for that. We all desire true peace and love, right? But we don't know how to access it at all times, right? So with all that conflict and emotions that they're dealing with, they need an escape. They need some relief. And where did that conflict come from? Their upbringing, their surroundings, the way the world teaches things, school, friends, whatever, right? It's adding to that conflict and those emotions, and they need a relief. They need to escape to feel better. So even though they know they're controlling you, the power that they're getting from it, it brings them a little bit of life. And how could you be mad at that? Right? How could you be mad at that if we really knew what was really going on at home, what was really going on within them? That they just needed a hand. Help me. I'm struggling. This is too much. I can't handle this. Oh, wait. You mean I can feel good and powerful by controlling a man? Sign me up. Because I don't know how to get the other way, so I might as well do it this way, right? They understand the man's weakness. They're looking for peace themselves. And the world has taught them that love and control and power and, being a strong woman in the world and working and all that stuff and competing with men is a means of love, of finding love. It's the imitation, and this is what Satan does. He imitates love. He imitates peace. So now he got them exploiting their influence with sex, and they're feeling good about it, thinking that that's love and peace. Satan got it twisted and confused, right? He got them twisted and confused. So they do it to feel better, right? It's an imitation of love. And oftentimes, I feel like I'm talking a lot, guys, but I just got to get to this point, so bear with me. Oftentimes, they're only doing it because they have not experienced the true love and the true peace. So we got to cut each other some slack, boys and girls, men and women. We got to cut each other some slack because oftentimes we don't experience the true love or the true peace. And if we experience it enough, we would lean more towards the true love and the true peace. But all we're taught is the imitation love and the imitation peace. And guess what? We can access that whenever we want. So that's what we do. So cut each other a little bit more slack. I'm included in that. That's me. I'm guilty. But it needs to be said. So even though they know it's wrong, and they do, they don't know how to gain access to the alternative. And I'm going to end it off here with this point, is that the alternative is the light of God that is in men, that is in fathers, that is in husbands, brothers, in men, the light of God that is in men. And that light we're supposed to use as we grow in it, as we grow confident in it, we use that influence of the light of God to draw the women in. And when we draw them in, as kids to adults, as a husband to a wife, we draw them in, they pick up on our ways. They pick up, and not our ways, God's ways. They pick up on God's light. They pick up on God's love. And then they start to act that out because that's the example that they see. They won't do all this other stuff. Nobody would do all this other stuff. They're only doing all this stuff because they are convinced of this imitation love. Or even if they know it's imitation, that's the only life source they're getting. Because they don't know how to access the real love, the true love. Because us as men are not giving it. That's it. Us as men are not giving it. So we're women are responsible for what happens to them as well, but we're also not helping at all. At all. And we want to blame women. We want to blame women too. And we never used to, but I think men are starting to blame women now too, because now they're so openly about competing and openly about their body count, and now, you know, making men want to complain, but we're part of the problem. So until we at least recognize it, just recognize it, ask God to reveal it, meditate, do whatever you got to do, but recognize the problem. We can't change it. So I ain't saying like work overtime to try to change it, because you're going to end up getting more into your thoughts, getting more into the quote unquote addictions, right? Because we can't change it, but we have to recognize it. God can give us the insight to understand it. And when we understand it, it changes eventually, right? So that's what I feel like I wanted to do today, is just share that insight that I learned, that I'm still learning in this whole situation with why women are doing this, men are doing that, why all these sites are getting crazy, why there's still a feeling within that wants it, that wants to do it, that wants to give into it, that wants to mingle with it, right? Like, and I'm not saying I'm exempt. I'm feeling it too. But my awareness oftentimes keeps me from doing it, or if it gets done, then my understanding helps me let it go, helps me understand what's going on within, and to overcome. But it's not about the actions. It's not about what you do. It's not about the mistakes you make. It's not about all that stuff. Because I know the chat's going to be like, well, Joel, what did you do? Are you out there doing? It's not about none of that stuff. It's about being aware of what's going on, right? Because we can't control nothing at the end of the day. So we just got to be aware. And that awareness is what changes it, right? And we just learn, and then that awareness actually keeps us from doing certain things, so we know, like, oh, shoot, that's not depression. That was a thought. So if I know that's a thought and that's not depression, then I don't have conflict. And now that conflict is not sending me to a spiral to go hit up that prostitute, right? It's awareness. So anyway, I had to get off my chest. Thank you, Lord, for allowing me to get all that out, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to get all that out. James says, we as men are not giving it. What do you mean by that, James? Like the light or the love and the peace? I think that's what he means. The love and the peace. That's true, though. We're not giving it. At the end of the day, we're not. We're not. And it's our responsibility. Just like Adam and Eve in the garden, Adam's responsibility was to stand firm, and Eve used her influence, her exploited influence, to convince him otherwise. And he gave in, and he, you know, and it's not even like he gave in. It's that she caught him in a moment of weakness. She caught him in a moment of weakness. And but it had to happen. It had to happen. It had to happen for men to see that they can be caught in a moment of weakness, even though you're walking with God. Christians, born again people of bond, everybody, is that you're still, waking up or not, everybody's still subject to everything. Adam was with God like this. It was him and God, and then Eve like this. But how, if that's the case, how did he still fall, right? Wasn't he born again? How did he still fall? You're still subject to Satan. Not subject to him, that's the wrong word. But he still has access to you. Just like Satan, wasn't he an angel in heaven? Right? How was he an angel in heaven but still fell away? Maybe he thought he was invincible. And in a moment of weakness, boom, gone. But it had to happen, right? But we're not exempt from this stuff. So as soon as we put ourselves on this pedestal thinking like we overcome, we're done. I'm bulletproof. I won't do that. I'm never doing that again. I'm never getting angry. I'm never having sex. Oh no, you're lying. And that's Satan's words. Because it's not of ourselves. We just got to give it to God and trust God and let God lead us. Let the light be the strength to overcome, right? Not our words, not us believing something. But that's a whole nother topic. And I only have a few minutes left here. But I hope that made sense, y'all. I got to get to some calls, though. I had to get to some calls. And I got to get to them quick. Sorry, callers. I just had to get that out. Let's see, Lucas, I'm gonna come to you in a second, man. Sorry, I just wanna get to these on-topic ones really quick. Okay, let me go to Anna. Anna's a first-time caller out of Missouri. I wanna go to Anna first because she's a female, I think. And I wanna see what she has to say about what I talked about. I'm out of frame. So let me go to Anna. Anna out of Missouri. I hope I do this right. Shoot. Anna out of Missouri, you're on Joel Friday TV. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Joel. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Anna?
All is well. I don't know if I can talk that fast in those few minutes you have left.
Yeah.
But I think you are so spot on. It's so deep what you just said, because I did question that for myself as well, and I come to the same thing. And I question it because me as a woman, I wanted to know my space, right, my place. Jesse is always talking about men and the place for men. But for women, that is not really so talked about, and I think, I don't know so exactly. There's a lot to say. Like you basically said it already. I was coming to an interesting fact to that too, with the soul and the spirit, the difference between those two things. The soul, which in the German language, the soul is feminine, is the earthly, the worldly being of us, the being that is experiencing pain, is experiencing all the fallen state things, all the dirt, the earth. And the spirit is, in the German language, the spirit is masculine. The spirit is the pure essence of who we are.
Interesting.
Yes? And so the condition in which we were getting born into in the earth, through the woman, in the fallen state, is basically, that's what I came to, is the darkness of unconsciousness, and it is, and the life on earth is governed by the bliss of this darkness, lust and fertility, drunken lust and fertility, where basically everything what you said, the physical, sex, all these kind of lust things is govern all life on earth.
Yeah.
And so the condition for it is ignorance. The condition for it is not knowing. And that's why it is important that I come to a really weird thing as well because of the role of the snake who is telling, see, the soul, Eve, the feminine, rejects that faceless darkness that is in lust and fertility. She rejects that. Eve rejects that, and the snake can tell her, you need to know, you need to eat from the tree of knowing, right?
Yeah.
And so when she has to go, she has that inner struggle because she rejects, the soul rejects the faceless dark of that drunken lust and fertility that can only exist with blindness, right?
Yeah.
And that is our way in the world. So Eve is eating the fruit and getting Adam with into it. And so, but you have to transcend it through that, being born again through the spirit, the masculine, in order to, which then beauty becomes the real thing. I think it becomes not anymore the physical, it becomes your place as the feminine, like you say. Beauty is really important too, because that is our place to go back to, but not back to in blindness, but we go back to now in consciousness.
Yeah.
Because we now face each other. We now have a love between men and women with consciousness. We have names for each other. We don't just call ourselves like, oh, pumpkin and sweetie, and what we do in the relationships in the fallen state, right? We don't even name ourselves. We don't know each other. And so, and that has to transcend. And we don't have that anymore. We don't learn that anymore in the society now, that we stay in the fallen state, in that lust and fertility, in that drunkenness, in that darkness, We don't transcend into the spirit. But I mean, you said basically the same thing. So I love your show. It's great.
I appreciate, Anna. I appreciate that. And you said so many things right now, and I'm gonna talk about it right now. I just want to hang up with you if you don't mind, and I'm gonna get to another call, but I'm gonna address what you just said. So stay on the line, or not stay on the line, but listen, because I'm gonna respond to everything you just said right now.
All right, perfect.
But I thank you for calling. I appreciate your spot on. I totally agree, and we just gotta continue to do the right thing. So thank you, Anna. I appreciate it. I'm gonna address what you said right now. Have a good one.
You. Bye.
All right, bye. I hate to have to not be able to get into that with Anna because she made so many good points, but I just want to say quickly is that she's right about the fact that once we recognize, for one, she said that it's ignorance. She's totally right. It's ignorance, is that we don't understand. We perish for the lack of understanding, right? And not knowledge, understanding, insight, right? And once we have that understanding, like Anna said, is that you get back to using that influence for good. Get back to what women have been gifted with, and men, but women have been gifted with, and they use it for good now that they have the proper understanding of how to use it, how to use their beauty. Women could totally use their beauty fully covered up. And I'm not saying you got to be covered up neck down and have like the veil, right? But they can do it in such a way to where people just are attracted to you. Not your boobies, not your booty, but you. That can happen, but it has to come from within. So once that understanding is understood, it starts to come from within. And I think that was what Anna was talking about. She brought up so many good points. But thank you, Anna. Call in again. Hopefully next time we could talk longer. I just really have to get to these other calls, but I appreciate you, Anna. Thank you. Really quick, let me go to Frederick out of California. Frederick, you are on air. Joel Friday TV with Joel Friday.
How's it going, Joel?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Real quick, let me run it down. You ain't got much time.
Yeah.
But it's not about the attraction that men have to women. It's about the attraction that women have to money. And these algorithms that YouTube and all of these other people that's paying these women advertise are trying to download an algorithm like ByteDance. This multi-billionaire over in China got the algorithm to TikTok. So they started making YouTubes this short to get you more money. They take money from you, but they need advertisement. So all the algorithms they're recording needs nakedness. Whatever you do to sell, they're going to put the advertisement on the degenerate. So all the degenerates that's there that they're breeding off of, sorry, you only took like one call. Come on, man. We got to do better. But listen, it's a whole lot I'm trying to ramble down, but it's not. It's more than that. It's more than that. It's about the sales and the materialistic stuff. A man with money, until he keep it to himself, he's always going to be able to have sex. Once a female see a man's giving his money away, he's going to do it all the way down the line because that's how she met him. But if a man hold on to his man, you see most real men with a lot of money, they don't be out here tricking it off and doing all this other stuff. Women are attracted to him because they don't give it away. You hold on to your bag, you keep your bag longer. But once you start giving it away, you into that scheme of advertising. You're going to buy a Tesla, you're going to buy a Benz, you're going to buy the latest stuff, you're going to dress nice. You can't get one of them rich women that have their own money or can get it from algorithm to go live in an apartment and live modest and obey and do all this other stuff because she can get off all of those fans she got. She can easily manipulate them with super chat.
Yeah. No, in fact,
before they get ads, and next thing you know, they covered up and nobody's watching them because they made their millions. They want to get out the game. Everybody quit watching them and look at the new youngest lady showing butt.
Well,
but algorithm.
Okay, let me make that point really quick. Sorry to have to rush you. I'm still trying to learn how to when to take calls and all that stuff. But good point, Frederick. You make a good point, and I think you're totally right. My only thing is that the only part where I just kind of disagree is that I think that the money is just like a symptom of what the real problem is. Like, the money.
It's security for the woman. You was right. The woman wants security, but she's not going to get it from a man with security because he's not going to give her the money plus security.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Fooling everybody else and getting security from TikTok.
Yeah, she's getting her security from TikTok. But let me tell you really quick is that she's getting her security from TikTok. Yes, but if she came across a real man that was grounded and had true influence and the light of God with him, she would let go of all that stuff if she was seeking, right? Because women want a man. They want a man. They don't want TikTok.
Exactly,
I guarantee. And you're right though, because they have all these means to have the life.
You can get sex on Figueroa all day for $50. It's more than sex.
It's more than sex. It's definitely
more than just sex.
It's definitely more than sex. Frederick, thank you for the call. I'm gonna respond a little bit more to that as well. Thank you for the call.
All right,
call again, man. All right, thanks.
All right,
He's right though. Is that it's the women will take the other things because they give them that high. So they're going to take the money, they're going to take the attention, the TikTok and all that stuff. He's right. All the things he's saying is true. The only thing is that if they knew the alternative, because there's not too many alternatives walking around here, right? And there's a selective few, right? But there's not a lot. So they don't say, I'm going to go work for that love, that peace. They just say, well, everybody else is getting money like this. Everybody else is feeling good. Everybody else is quote unquote happy. So I'm going to do it this way. But that's a symptom. But the actual problem is the real love and the real peace. So, what was his name? Frederick was right. Lord have mercy. I got to just try to just fit in. Sorry, Hassan. I just got to get to, now I know how James feels. I used to be mad at James. Not mad, but I used to be like, that boy, no, it's past the hour. But let me just because I waited too long, but let me go to Lucas really quick. Lucas, I said I was going to get to you. Let me get to you really quick. Lucas, first-time caller out of Los Angeles. Lucas, you're on the show. Welcome to the show, Joel Fry TV.
Hey, how you doing, Joel?
I'm doing well.
Lucas, first-time caller on your show, man. I didn't know you had a show. That is awesome, man. That was amazing.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I've noticed that, you guys, I always say, a man is honest, and honesty is true and right. And I've noticed everybody on the team with Jesse, you guys are true and right. I know you guys, like, just like me, we're still, like, learning, you know. Jesse's really, like, you know, we look at Jesse like, gosh dang, you know what I mean? But you guys are with God. I know that for sure. You guys are men because you guys are true and right, you know, and that's what a man is honest and true and right, you know. And I just want to let that be known. And talking about your guys,
right on, man.
What you were talking about men and women and all that, you are so right, man. If you look at on TikTok, man, the women are showing off their bodies. They're showing off their bodies. They're doing all this stuff and complaining about men, right? You look at the same. You could find the same thing. A man doing the same thing, showing off their bodies, complaining about women and their relationships and everything.
Exactly.
Men are acting like women, and so men can try to act all like crazy, like, oh, look at these women. Look at this. You were acting just like them. They succeeded. They're successful.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they wanted to do. They won. The women won. That's exactly. They wanted you to be all emotional and care about what the heck somebody says.
Great. Hey, Lucas. Great point. And you made it so quick, and I appreciate that because I'm running out of time. But thank you, Lucas. You're 100% right. Call me back again. I'm sorry to cut you off.
I will, dude. I will. No problem. Late.
All right, man. All right, bye. Dang, I gotta get better with these calls because they're making such good points, and I hate to have to cut it off like that. But again, what everybody's saying is right, man. Everybody's saying is right, and we just gotta be aware. That's it. We can't change it. Just gotta be aware. I gotta go. I'm sorry, Brian, Rick, and all the other callers. I'm sorry I couldn't get to you. I'm new. So give me a chance to, get used to it, get used to doing all this stuff. But I appreciate you guys for calling in. Call again. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for dealing with everything I had to say and just bearing through it. And I thank you guys for showing love and all that good stuff. Make sure, please, that you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the share button so we can get the subscribers up and the message out. So, we can do what we do. So I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. That is the end of the show. Tune back in next Tuesday, 11 to 12 Pacific time. Don't miss it. I'm live every Tuesday. You can call in. I'll get better with the calls, but you can call in and we can have a good time. And you can stream the shows after, so you don't have to just watch at 11 or 12. The video is uploaded to YouTube. You can watch it later and all that's good stuff. Follow me on Instagram. You guys see my handles here, Joel Friday TV, that the gift of the dance. And stay connected. Appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
Like it's physical, so count on me. I got it all under control.